Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Sayeda Insha Hussaini, and thank you for joining us. I'm a GP by background and founder of Thrive Her, a doctor led, faith aware, evidence based platform for women's health. At Thrive Her, we work to close the gaps in healthcare that leave so many Muslim women and minority women unheard, misdiagnosed, and dismissed. PCOS is one of those conditions where inequalities really do show. And it's why today's conversation is really important. I'm delighted and such a pleasure to be hosting this webinar today with Dr. Pega Ferzim, who brings an incredible lens of public health, medicine, and lived experience to PCOS care. She has also been involved recently with some work in Westminster, London. So, very exciting indeed. Welcome, Pega. Thank you very much for coming with us today. And yeah, if you just kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Sudha. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Pega. I'm a medical doctor by background, and I have a master's degree in global public health and policy. I work as an independent researcher and specialist in PCOS lifestyle management. And currently, I'm working on a project that examines how well international PCOS lifestyle management guidelines and advice adapt or translate across different cultures and ethnic contexts.
That's amazing. We would love to kind of know more about this, and I hope we will be talking about this very soon as well. Um, Tell us a bit more about the work that you've been doing at Westminster.
So I was actually invited to basically participate in the launch of the first PCOS, the first report on PCOS from the All-Party Parliamentary Group, which was the result of hard work of Verity PCOS, which is the PCOS charity in the UK.
Yes.
And it was together with many other clinicians from different specialities, endocrinologists, gynecologists, researchers, innovators, influential people. It was basically a collective effort to bring all the struggles of diagnosis and management from policy perspective to awareness perspective regarding PCOS to the forefront so that we could basically address all of these gaps from different angles and hopefully we'll be able to proceed with success.
Yes, yes. Very rooting for everything you've said there. And we're really excited to see the progress that you do, especially in health inequalities and inequities as well, especially with the cultural and faith-based backgrounds as well. And we'll talk about that more in a bit. So, Pega, you yourself have an amazing background in PCOS, being a research, being an academic, public health. And also you do have kind of you have worked as a doctor as well in the past, which is really good as well, adds to your credibility as well. um, so I mean, me personally, as a women's health doctor and seeing women, not like 9 years in and out as a clinician, I have seen the impact it actually has, especially women's health and not being recognized as it should be. And PCOS is a big topic, and it's not just kind of the trending topic out there, but it is one of these topics that women live with. And you are a great example of kind of shining some light onto this, if that's okay with you. So, can you just explain a bit more what is PCOS for those people who are not really aware of what it is? Just give us some clarity on that, please.
Yes, of course. So PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome, which, despite the misleading name, it's a whole body condition. It affects several parts of body. It affects metabolism, fertility, hair, skin, and mental health. So it's very important to understand that it doesn't only affect ovaries. And actually, there is a campaign, international campaign, people from different countries trying to change this name so that it's less misleading than,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep.
as I mentioned, it's a whole body condition, and there are some common signs and symptoms. For example, irregular or absent periods, fertility challenges, weight gain, excess hair on face, chest, neck, and back, male pattern hair loss, which means that women can lose hair from the front of the scalp, acne. There are some other less known signs and symptoms as well, but these are the main ones.
Hmm.
Now, what's really striking is that even though it affects 1 in 8 women in the UK, up to 70% remain undiagnosed, or they get diagnosed very, very late. Now, there are very reasons for this. First of all, like many other women's health issues, there is a severe lack of research and funding. Basically, we don't really know what causes PCOS. Then there comes the awareness part, which basically there's a lack of awareness within general public. There is not enough training in medical schools. There is lack of clear treatment pathways. It's very fragmented. So there are several reasons for this. And I think one of the most important ones is actually is that it shows very differently within different ethnicities and individuals. So we really need to focus on seeing all of these signs, being conscious and cautious about all of these symptoms, and just not have this picture that, oh, there's only one typical way of showing PCOS. No, there are very, very different types and signs and symptoms that shows differently in different people and different backgrounds.
Yeah, thank you for that. That definitely helps give some more clarity to someone who's not really aware of what PCOS is. PCOS is not just something to do with infertility. It's not just to do with cosmetics, just the way you look. It's much more deeper. And there's also, like Pega mentioned, much more as you need to have a holistic approach to this. There is diabetes is a major thing in PCOS as well, and type 2 diabetes in particular, and also cardiovascular disease plays a huge impact as well within PCOS. And with regards to kind of the evidence as well, there's a lot of evidence, like we've just been discussing, and the new research actually shows that there's a global burden of PCOS, and it has been rising since the 1990s. So just over time, there has been an increase in the level of PCOS as well, and recognition of PCOS, which is good, but it's not enough. It's not enough, like you've mentioned, Pega. And especially among younger women, I'd agree that this is something that we need to still work on. And also, just on that note, it's really striking to know that the inequality as well within the diagnosis. Black and Asian women are often misdiagnosed or diagnosed much later with severe outcomes later on. And from my own clinical experience, I've seen women report to me that actually. They're concerned about things, and I've seen doctors tell them actually it's just your weight, and or you can just deal with the hairs, and just giving that kind of advice, which is not really the right thing to do as well, and it misses the bigger picture. Like you mentioned correctly, because it's very complex and it's a whole body condition, and dismissing it means women lose years of vital care. So, Pega, if you can kindly kind of tell us a bit more about the barriers to care that you've seen yourself during your journey.
Yes, of course. I just wanted to point out three major misconceptions, actually.
Mhm.
Firstly, PCOS doesn't fade away after menopause. We
Mhm.
definitely need to keep this in mind, that it's basically a lifelong journey. It may sound a little bit scary, but with the right management, people definitely can manage their symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this misconception of, as you mentioned, it being only about fertility, but it's not. Such beliefs minimizes this whole body effect, which prevents women from receiving the right diagnosis and right care, which, as you correctly mentioned, minimizes the long-term effects of developing type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, endometrial cancer, and depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely important to keep these in mind. Regarding the barriers to care, it was actually interesting at Westminster. What struck me was how similar women's stories are across not only different communities in the UK, but around the world, because I work with women from around the world as well. There is years of waiting for getting the diagnosis. There is symptoms being dismissed, and many clinicians just telling patients to just take these pills, go lose weight, and come back if you want to get pregnant, which unfortunately has been the case in many occasions. But hopefully, this is changing, and I'm really hopeful that this Our Party parliamentary group will address this and hopefully, put the right things in places so that we won't see this as much as before. Apart from this, there is the cultural stigma that makes things even more complicated in terms of barriers to care. In some settings, women simply don't seek help because of the huge stigma around fertility, periods, and just body image. I know that I heard this from another clinician from Nigeria, actually, that even though a young girl, maybe she was like 18, received a diagnosis, because of the stigma around contraceptives, she wasn't even like that. Her family didn't even allow her to
Mm-hmm.
continue the treatment.
Yeah.
Really sad. And by raising awareness and talking about it, we can definitely, hopefully,
Break those barriers.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you very much, Pega. And just kind of following up with those points that you've mentioned, I'm really ashamed to hear the story that you mentioned about the 18-year-old girl from Nigeria as well. And I feel like that trend is also kind of in the UK as well. With regards to just PCOS and barriers, I feel it's not just the patients themselves. There's also the healthcare professionals that need a bit more kind of cultural and faith kind of aware education. Honestly, because I feel that there is a lot of delay. We already know about the delays and the impact. We know that this is not just a physical condition. We know that there is increase including the diabetes and including the cardiovascular diseases, which is a major kind of impact on the physical health. There's also the mental health challenges that you've kind of identified yourself. And from a health systems perspective, this equity issue is actually huge. So it's really important that we actually try to meet these trading gaps that doctors have not been provided with. There isn't enough confidence in doctors in dealing with and recognizing PCOS, and there aren't enough services available to address cultural or faith-aware contexts as well within PCOS and just general women's health conditions. Just to add, at Thriver, that's what we are working at. We want to implement systemic change, and we are trying to build a platform that will be integrating the cultural and faith-aware aspects into the programs to educate women's health, to not just the communities, but also to healthcare professionals, so that we improve outcomes, reduce the diagnostic delays, and also help cut costs. So it's a kind of a win-win situation, to be honest. But yeah, thank you for highlighting all of those important barriers that we still have a lot of work to do. And I mean, yourself, you have a wide variety of experience, not just clinically but also personally. What would you suggest, practical strategies wise, that we need to do, and more work needs to be done on, so that we kind of help break these barriers and basically implement and start kind of a cascade of change? What would you say, Pega?
Of course. So it's very important to know that even though there is no cure for PCOS, the, the tiny lifestyle changes that we make can reduce the symptoms by 70%. Basically, 70% of women who apply these lifestyle changes are able to um, manage all these symptoms. Obviously, there are some that, I mean, it's so complex that you can't say um, these series of lifestyle changes or treatments will definitely help you. Nobody can say that,
Mm.
but this is the best we have. Um, and there are so many success stories from women that we've worked with, including myself. I have PCOS as well. And I think, yeah, basically, it's important to know that um, all the changes need to be small and sustainable. That's the main bit. Then we need to understand that by balancing meals to support the blood sugar levels and maintain the blood sugar levels without too much of going up and down, by finding movement that we enjoy throughout the day, and by prioritizing sleep and stress management, we really can address all these sometimes difficult signs and symptoms. And I always highlight the importance of self compassion, because so many women feel they are failing in managing PCOS. But the truth is, it's really complex. Nobody really knows what causes this, but each effort that someone puts into their care and their management counts. Really, it really counts. And if people just approach it with curiosity instead of punishment, all of these changes become much more sustainable. I also want to really emphasize that please, please be aware of all the influencers on social media who claim they will cure your PCOS. No, there's no cure. Okay. And also be mindful of anyone who wants to sell you quick fixes. Again, there's no quick fix. It's a lifelong journey, which many people, many women have been able to address it with curiosity and self compassion, and they have been in great shape, great energy. They have had kids, all the success stories.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for that. And just kind of carrying on from what you've just mentioned about being kind to yourself. And actually, it's not a condition that, don't punish yourself. It's not a condition that you cause to yourself. There is evidence that actually PCOS, there is a link to the epigenetics. So it's not to do with even your DNA. It's just kind of your genes, unfortunately, which you can't do much about. So there's no need to kind of, feel guilty about it. What you can do is work on the lifestyle, things that you have control over. There's also evidence, as a doctor, we know that there's metformin out there that we use clinically, and there's also now upcoming trials of GLP-1 agonists as well, which are being studied at the moment for the use of PCOS. So just putting that out there as well as potentials, but again, very early stages for that, and we still have a lot of work to be done in PCOS, I'd say. Um, just to add as well, at Thrive Her, we do emphasize clear, honest guidance, what's proven, what's promising, and what is evidence based only. And women deserve to know the difference, so that you can make safe choices rather than just relying on social media. anyone can post on social media. You don't need to have a degree, you don't need to have experience in public health or anything like that. So I would definitely take any advice given on social media with a pinch of salt. With regards to now just going a bit deeper into faith, culture, and PCOS, Pega, what is your thoughts on that? Do you want to just shine some light on faith and culture and how that relates with PCOS?
Absolutely. Well, the most important thing is that one size fits all can't work with
Mhm.
PCOS. It will never work with PCOS. A plan that works in one culture may be completely unrealistic in another. If uh, advice ignores someone's food, faith, family dynamics, it won't stick. As simple as that. And evidence based care has to be culturally safe as well in order for people to be able to implement it.
Mhm.
So, listening to women's voices, respecting their realities, and adapting recommendations so they're doable, that's the most important part. Otherwise, like even the best advice won't translate into change at all.
That's completely true. And just reflecting on that a bit more, a Muslim woman, she might be fasting in Ramadan, and she might need to tailor her nutritional needs as needed during that month of fasting. And there's like lots of these kind of little nuggets of information and cultural aspects that perhaps are actually dismissed within the healthcare settings,
Mm.
and healthcare professionals are actually not even aware of. They don't even know what they're missing. Basically, they don't know that these little nuggets actually cause a huge impact on women generally, not just with faith but also with culture. A woman might prefer to see another woman rather than a man when she's been examined, or even just talking about her personal experiences, maybe intimate times. So just little things, little information that maybe healthcare professionals are not aware of, and that's actually also lines nicely with what we are doing at Thriver as well, because like you mentioned, it's really important. Evidence-based care is not enough. We need to make sure that we implement like cultural aspects and are aware of the different belief systems as well that women have, and we try to integrate that when we do care, so that we actually bridge the gap of the health inequity that we have at the moment. And it's not just to do some it's not just to have information just for niceness. This actually has an impact on women's lives, on communities, and basically globally it does have an impact. So these are serious conversations that we need to have basically. Pega, just looking ahead now, what are your hopes for the future? What do you see? Where do you see yourself coming in the coming few months and the coming few years?
So, as I mentioned, my current work is on exploring the adaptability of PCOS international advice and guidelines in different cultures and ethnicities, around the world. So, I'm really hoping to prepare a very, good resource of all the interviews that I'm doing with women around the world, so that the policymakers, the researchers, the international healthcare investors could basically see where is really the gap and why over 70% are undiagnosed. I'm really hoping to get to those questions and hopefully have some answers for them. But regarding the Our Party parliamentary group, which is, I think, the most exciting thing happening in PCOS space in the UK, I'm
And you're part of
really,
it, so
yeah, well, I'm basically a participant, but yeah.
counts.
So
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm really hoping that it brings real structural, systematic change,
That's what we
which
need. Yes.
exactly, so that it brings better training for doctors, stronger guidelines, more research funding, and basically better awareness around PCOS. But I also hope that it validates women's experiences as well,
Mhm.
that they feel heard after years of being dismissed. And my vision for PCOS really is to care to be timely, equitable, and compassionate, no matter where a woman lives or what her background is.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Pega. Thank you so much for that noble work that you are actually being part of at the moment, and it's really enlightening to know that actually. The work that you're doing in PCOS, that is kind of the most exciting it's been in the PCOS kind of space, which is a shame because we actually I think need is a very weak word now in actually what is actually um, there's a huge gap at the moment that we are aware of, and what you're doing will definitely help kind of bridge that, like I've mentioned already, and just kind of going in line with what you've said already. At Thrive here, I feel like our missions are very aligned because our aim is to train not only the community leaders, but also to train healthcare providers as well, so that they can deliver faith aware, culturally sensitive women's health information actually to the women out there so that they can actually manage the conditions in the right way in order to reduce these inequalities as well as help with the costs as well. And embedding research and evaluation is actually key in this. And I hope there will be more funding available in this space so that we are actually able to implement our visions and our passion into impactful change, hopefully soon. Thank you very much, Pega. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. And I'm really hopeful for the future. Thanks again for your time. You take care. Lovely to
Thank
speak to you all as well. I hope you guys have learned something from today's webinar. Any last words, Pega?
I for anyone looking for some support, I usually share resources on my LinkedIn. I haven't been really present on social media, but I decided that I really have to be out there as well, so that people have some credible receive some credible information as well. So I have set up an Instagram and TikTok page. It's called Her PCOS, but hopefully you'll be able to find it in the caption when
I will
Seda
post it
posts
as well.
this.
Yes.
And I'm actually planning some awareness campaigns and exciting challenges with prizes as well. So if anyone is interested to get evidence-based information about PCOS and participate in these upcoming challenges and potentially win some prizes, you should follow Her PCOS. But most importantly, I want to say that women out there who is struggling with PCOS or who's just not sure if she has PCOS or not, please don't dismiss them. Ask for help and keep pushing for answers because you deserve care that goes beyond just live with it.
Yes, that is definitely true. Basically, this webinar, I hope, will help people. Don't stay silent. It's important that if you have PCOS, you deserve the right care, and your voice does matter. So don't stay silent and don't suffer. There's a lot of support groups out there, and Pega's I would definitely advocate for. She is an amazing person, and also her expertise in PCOS is something that um, I would definitely comprehend and very credible indeed. So thank you very much, Pega, for that. I will definitely be including your social media links in the description as well. So please do join us in the next videos and join our platforms as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of staying connected with everyone in the future. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Pega, for your time. It's been great to speak with you today.
Thank you very much. It was really my pleasure as well.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.